Shalom. All praises to the Most High, Anoka said, the Heavenly Father. Praise be to the earthly mother and all of her angels, along with the Arekadoshoi. Praise be to the Kahe, the Holy Spirit, all in the name of his only begotten Son, Motsah the Lamb, unification to the nation. So guys, we're going to do a little bit of a case study on Mr. Liberal Caucasian face rat, Max Kellerman. Now, I'm very familiar with Max, as I was really into sports until like a year and a half ago. And that's when I just stopped and I started to study. But before then, I always knew that there's this dude, he capes for so-called black people a lot. That's what he's known for. He's known for playing the good guy, cop, or the good cop, to Stephen A. Smith's bad cop. And they also reverse the so-called races to confuse you to be on his side. It's a very sinister, subliminal type of thing that's going on. Everything that goes on when it has to do with identity, it is all to get us away from our true identity. That's why I keep telling people to stop going off race. A lot of us, as far as people, we were together more based on our actual nation than how you look, because we knew that we were conquered by so-called black people back then. So we looked for our own, not necessarily for our color and our features, because that's why you have divide among the so-called black community with dark skin and light skin, right? Team light skin, team dark skin. Oh, dark black people have it the worst, and now they're only the Israelites. And then you get into that foolishness. And that's why I just disregard it entirely. Because when you use Babylonian terms, you're a Babylonian. You're supposed to leave Babylon. But some people, some people still want to be in Babylon. But I'm going to let people have their free will. If you want to be stupid, I'm going to let you be stupid. I'm not going to go back and forth with you in my comment section. You see what I put at the beginning of my video. I do not claim to be a teacher, a deacon, a leader, none of that. A prophet, I don't say any of that. Maybe it's confusing to you that I don't do that and other people do. That's not what I do on this channel. This channel is about finding the truth, exchanging information. This is not about being right or wrong. So if you're interested more in being right and winning arguments, I'm not going to answer you. It's really that simple. And when you start disrespecting and trolling, I'm just going to hide you from the channel. I'm not going to say a word to you, and you're going to speak to yourself. I didn't want to do that. That's what I'm doing now. So be prepared. When you start getting disrespectful, know what's coming. Get ready to start making another account if you want to comment on my channel. But anyway, let's start. So we're going to first go over the concept of Tikkun Olam. I'm not going to spoil it, but here's a foreshadowing. This is a dirty rat paw from a dirty face rat. So this is the concept of repairing the world. This phrase with Kabbalistic roots has come to connote social justice. So the concept of this term, it has to do with with social justice and changing the world. But we're going to learn how exactly the world is changed, because there's a specific way. Let's just move down because I don't want to make this long. According to the Lurantic account, the first man, Adam, was intended to restore the divine sparks through mystical exercises, but his sin interfered. As a result, good and evil remain thoroughly mixed in the created world, and human souls also became imprisoned with the shards. The repair that is needed, therefore, is twofold: the gathering of light and of souls to be achieved by human beings through the contemplative, performance of religious acts. So this is achieved through the contemplative performance of religious acts. Now, this is not really getting into what it really means, but read between the lines. What is the religious acts? This is Kabbalistic in roots, right? So the religious acts has to do with Kabbalah or Talmudic Judaism, right? The goal of such repair, which can only be effected by humans, is to separate what is holy from the created world, thus depriving the physical world of its very existence, and causing all things to return to a world before disaster within the Godhead and before human sin, thus ending history. So, Tikkun Olam today has become such a commonly used term in liberal Jewish circles. Whoa, you see this word liberal. Now, for the remainder of this video, I'm going to use this word, but I'm not using it to denote, what is it called? Democrat versus Republican. No, I'm not talking about it from a political standpoint. I'm talking about it from an ideological standpoint. So when I mean liberal, I'm talking about, the people who are for gay rights and for black people, and you know what I'm talking about, right? It's just they're usually they usually have to do with Democrats because that's the ideology that they push for the most part. And you also have things on a scale. You have extreme liberalism or far left, and extreme conservatism, far right. So extreme liberalism is saying all those gender cis queer pronouns, and I remember I was in high school, and I I insulted someone. I said, "Oh yeah, that dude's a cocksucker," right? That's how we like to. In New York, we have what's called cutting ass culture, and that's when we just make fun of people just for fun. That's just what we did as teenagers. So when I said that, this dude came out of nowhere and said, "Oh, you're sex," or he said you're homophobic. And I was like, "What?" And then he was like, "Oh yeah, like you're making it seem like cocksucking is bad." And I'm like, "He's a dude." And he's like, "Yeah, that's why you're homophobic." I'm like, "Okay, bro. All right." Like that's what I mean. That's far left. And then you have far right. You have you have the Edomites who even still are holding on to their country, and they don't want any of us brown and black people here. So everything is really on a scale in that regard. So that's what I'm really referring to. I'm not talking about politically. I'm talking about ideologically. Like going against the patriarchy and uplifting some sort of matriarchy. That's Satan. That's Semihaza. That's his work. He wants to obliterate the patriarchy because the Most High is a patriarchy. He doesn't like that. So now, of course, people don't know how the Most High's patriarchy works because there's a balance to everything. It's not putting women under your thumb, but it's about giving them purpose, giving them their proper purpose, not having them leaders in the house. But I'm going off track too much. But let's focus on the video. Where was I again? Yes, in liberal Jewish circles, that it is the basis for a joke in which an American Jew visiting Israel acts as her guide. How do you say Tikkun Olam in Hebrew? So that's one of those weird white people jokes. I guess you have to be there. The phrase Tikkun Olam remains connected with human responsibility for fixing what is wrong with the world. So they perceive something being wrong with the world when it goes against their religious beliefs, their Kabbalist beliefs. So that's why they push what they push. It's a very insane sense of self-righteousness. They believe it's almost like how we believe that the Most High will fix everything if we just go after him, we chase after him. At least anyone with sense, they know that based on the precepts. These people, they believe that shoving their religion down other people's throats is the way how you achieve such things. So I'm just giving you this backdrop so we'll know exactly where this dude Max Kellerman is coming from and why he says and does what he does. So Stephen A. Smith loses it on Terrell Owens over Max Kellerman blacker taunt. Now, you, not you Negroes, but so-called black people in general have very low self-esteem. This is quite evident because you show it each and every time. People have such low self-esteem that they're willing to side with Max Kellerman because he makes them feel good with his words. Terrell Owens will say things like, Max seems blacker than you, Stephen A. These are all roles and characters that they're playing. And they're going to fool the people who they're supposed to fool. They're supposed to fool the ignorant people of our quote unquote community. That's what they're here to do. So you will feel some sort of compassion in your heart for one of these Tikkun Olam people because he said some nice words when it really is him enabling your stupidity and nigga nonsense. That's all he's doing. And I'm going to show you. But let's read this a little bit. In fact, if this is short, it's 25 seconds.
So what he wanted was transparency for people to see the full workout, to see the full Colin Kaepernick. Again, you mentioned obviously Max is going to get in here. And like I said, I'm in the streets. Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A. with what he's coming, with his commentary.
With all due respect, my brother.
I'm just saying, dog.
Wait a minute. Wait to finish.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to check you right now. You don't cross.
I'm just saying.
Time. Wait a minute.
First of all, that's so disrespectful. Blackness doesn't mean a damn thing, but that's so disrespectful because he ties his identity to blackness, and he's saying that this person who is not black is more black than you. That's why blackness is stupid, because you can't say, well, this person is more of an Israelite than you. No, it's either you are or you aren't. You can say he's more righteous than you, but there's no identity behind blackness. Blackness is a cultural concept that has to do with some sort of similarity with features. I've even heard Shaq say, Stephen Curry isn't black. I'm black. He's light-skinned. Do you understand the concept? The concept is full of confusion. And if you're coming to me with confusion, if you're trying to come to me with, all the Israelites are black, all the Israelites are Negroes, you're a Babylonian and your father is Frederick Blumenbach. Get off my channel. I'm gonna just say it right now. I'm running out of patience for such terms, such thinking. If you're not using them colloquially and you're literally using them to describe the children of Israel as a whole, you're painting them all with a big broad brush. I don't want to say this, and I did not want to speak like this, but you're an idiot. And until you go study, don't come back or listen. I have plenty of videos where I discuss this exact topic. If you want the videos, look through my channel, or if you want a specific video of this topic, I have one. I forgot the name of it. I could leave it in the description. My point is that we're too close to the end. I don't have time to waste on you guys who are so caught up in Babylon. Still, you have to move on. You have to move on. Because this stuff is for the stupid people of our so-called people. Colin Kaepernick, his message makes sense, but so what? Satan is known for doing stuff like that. He mixes truth with lies. That's what he does. So you acting as if, everything that Colin Kaepernick does now, now it's just positive because he did one thing that made some sort of sense. He did one thing that made some sort of sense, but the conclusion made no sense. His conclusion should have been, hey, let's rally and make our own league. That conclusion makes a lot more sense than begging the white man to love you. That's what they want you to do. And that's my point. That's why this whole thing is dumb. I don't want to be a part of any movement that the Most High has not ordained. Even that movement of starting your own whatever, I don't want to do that either. Buy your own land. I don't want to do that. I'll wait for the Most High to do it. I'm not getting justified by any mortal, any temporal Negro. I don't care about that. You guys are not my father. Oh, I'm doing too many rants. My apologies. Let's just keep on. Let's just keep going. So Stephen A. Smith, the hot take artist, known for his sharp criticism of athletes, now finds himself under constant scrutiny. Now, Stephen A. Smith, he plays the role of like the half Uncle Tom, half responsible uncle, right? Like that's his thing. He's not too extreme to the point where you could just say that, you know, he's this biggest so-called coon, right? But he says some things that he doesn't need to say, and we're gonna get into that as well. But that's my point. They're playing characters. They're playing characters, so you will look at a Max Kellerman and think, oh yeah, he can be a good guy, or he could be better than this person. When Stephen A. Smith, he'll say things that make sense. He'll preach that you need to be responsible. Max, he thinks, well, you know, they've been through so much, they could just do what they want. Let them steal. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not love. Love is correction. Love is keeping the Most High's laws. How is stealing okay? I don't care what people say. If they think stealing's okay, who are they coming from? Who are they coming from? Most High said stealing's okay? He ain't never said that. If I'm hungry, if I'm that hungry, I'll pray to the Most High and ask him to feed me. I'll never be hungry enough to steal. I'll never be hungry enough or thirsty enough to break the Most High's laws. I have need of nothing. So people coming with that, well, you know, what are you going to do if someone rolls up in your house? You have no faith. You have no understanding. But this dude, Terrell Owens, he's making this claim that Max Kellerman is now blacker than Stephen A. Smith because he agrees on Colin Kaepernick. I don't agree on Colin Kaepernick. I don't agree with 90% of the things that he does or he did. I think he should have did it in a much better way. I don't disagree with why he did it. Everything that he did with it made no sense. All that was is, white man, please love me. I'm not into that. I don't want a damn thing from those people. I don't care about them. I don't hate them. They're beneath me. They don't exist. I look above them. But they want you to be in this paradigm where you're constantly going to them. And Max is the same way. He just does it in a different way. Stephen A. Smith slams foolish NBA stars if they don't show up to work because of racial oppression. Now, this is when he can, be too extreme. Where he's like, oh, like, they need to go to work, right? Oh, like, you know, something, they're just, they don't want to entertain me, pretty much. Like, that's what it's really about. He's mad because they don't want to play basketball because his job is on the line. As the sister says, they're monetarious Negroes. He loves money. He loves his position. That's what he's about. That's what Stephen A. Smith is about. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't know what he's talking about sometimes. But in this case, this is what I mean. He can be too extreme. He can play the role of being insensitive. So let's go back. Let's go down. He said racial oppression has existed and it's going to exist after the summer. It's going to exist next year. It's going to exist the year after. A year from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, anyone in your society that thinks this thing is going to be completely eradicated is fooling themselves. You are always going to have to deal with these things. So that is not an excuse not to show up to work, to your job. You can fight the fight while still showing up to work. Now, this is my point. This dude, Stephen A. Smith, he's like, shush, I have it good here. Why do you want to leave Egypt? Don't you know we have all these things in Egypt? Don't you know I have a multi-million paying job in Egypt? Why do you want to leave? That's what he's doing. So they're just playing roles. This is The White Man's Burden. This is a very good book that came out during this time. I don't know if it was a book, something of the sort. I think it was a poem. Anyway, The White Man's Burden is a poem by the British Victorian poet and novelist Rudyard Kipling. While he originally wrote the poem to celebrate Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee in 1897, Kipling revised it in 1899 to exhort the American people to conquer and rule the Philippines. The conquest in the poem is not portrayed as a way for the white race to gain individual or national wealth or power. Instead, the speaker defines white imperialism and colonialism in moral terms as a burden that the white race must take up in order to help the non-white races develop civilization. Because of the poem's influential moral argument for American imperialism, it played a key role in the congressional debates about whether America should annex the Philippine Islands after the Spanish-American War. The phrase "white man's burden" remains notorious as a racist justification for Western conquest. This is all the same thing. I'm smarter than everyone else. We know more than everyone else. We're more moral than everyone else. And this is a burden that we have to face because of our superiority. This is how they think. This is not a secret. That's why I don't want these people around me. I treat people with respect as human beings, as creations of the Most High. But that's it. I love my people before anyone else. I care about them. I don't care about the other adopted children if you are adopted. If you are adopted. You're okay if you're adopted. I'm not looking for Gentiles, but let's see how this dude capes, okay? This dude Max Kellerman, he was known as a caper. He makes excuses for black people. That's not helping them.
China has some economic freedom. It's somewhat economically free. It is not a politically free country.
Just look at Stephen A. Smith's face. I'm going to play like 2 or 3 videos. Just look at his face.
And people should take into consideration
when they show it.
When everyone talks, especially basketball players, are going to exploit the Chinese market, understand you're not in a free place. We can't. I'm not going to go into the Chinese government right now, but you ain't in America over there. That's number one. Number two is I don't know that there's proof that LiAngelo did this. Why? Because the Chinese government thinks he did it, or some local branch of the Chinese government thinks he did it. That's enough for people. I don't know that he did it. Will, I think you did a good job pointing out there's no due process there, the way we conceive of it in America, a far superior political system. But finally, let me just say about the big baller brand. This is bad for the big baller brand because
now, what is this dude's name? Damn, I forgot his name. LeVar Ball, his second son, was caught shoplifting while they were in China playing. And Max, as soon as the story came out, this was his response. He was making excuses, as he always does. A black person can shoot someone. He's like, well, I don't know all the details. And, black people, they eat it up. Why? Because they have low self-esteem. Because usually people, when we are killed, people usually say, well, I don't have all the details, but they think flipping it and acting the same way as them is okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay to make excuses. It's not okay to lie for anyone. I don't lie for anyone. I don't steal for anyone. We have a moral compass. We have the Torah for a reason. We don't need other people's opinions to affect how we think. Just because they're doing it to us does not mean we're going to do it to them. We're going to do things in righteousness. We're going to do things the way the Most High wants them done. I don't give a damn about whatever they're doing. Whatever injustice they're doing, that's them. I have nothing to do with them. I'm above them and they're beneath me. They are my footstool about to be stepped on. I don't care about them. But let's see how he responds the next day. Or whenever this was posted, next week, I don't know.
punishment fit the crime?
Sure, and I'm going to get into that in a second. I want to start by saying there's some new information here. Yesterday, it was unclear. I didn't know what charges were. They were accusations. They weren't proven to have shoplifted. The press conference made it pretty clear that they did it, that they stole the sunglasses, right? So that's one. They did the crime. That changes my feeling a little bit because.
Okay, so you do a crime, you should pay for it. It's that simple. Should you die for it? No. But you should pay for it. There shouldn't be any excuses. They shouldn't be saying any excuses. In fact, they weren't very humble about it at all, if I remember correctly. They were saying, well, they just avoided it. No one was a man and admitted to it. No one said, yeah, that was foolish of me. I really shouldn't have done that. There was no sincerity. There was no remorse. That's why I don't defend anyone. I let people have their free will, and people could do what they want to do. You have the opportunity to hang yourself or fly up to the sky. It's all up to you. You have unlimited potential. The Most High is literally giving you whatever you want to do, whatever choices you make. So I don't make excuses for people who want to steal. You know better. You know that it's not okay to steal. You're not going to convince me that someone in his 20s does not know that it's not okay to steal.
Or quite a bit. Because if, in fact, they did the crime, then we know the punishment for that by college standards, as we discussed yesterday, I brought it up. Will, you also brought it up. It runs the gamut between, Jameis Winston, nothing happens. Cam Newton, he gets kicked out of school. So anywhere in there, you can have just, reasonable punishment according to precedent. So there's that. But,
Look at Stephen
and
A's
I'm not,
face.
listen, it was petty theft or, they shoplifted. Shoplifting is bad. I don't want anyone to get it.
It was just petty theft. That was it. It's just petty theft. It doesn't matter if you think it's petty. That's my point. That's what's wrong with these people. They make their own laws. They believe in Tikkun Olam. And Kabbalism is really self-aggrandizement. That's really what it is. Being the Most High on earth. Forcing your opinions on other people. Forcing them to do what you want them to do. What did the Spaniards do? They had their own ideology, their own will, and put the name Christos or Christ on it. And that was it. These people are the same people.
Ben, and think that I'm saying it's okay to shoplift. It is bad to shoplift. But
it shouldn't be what but? Did anyone die? Anytime you decide to do evil, you are exposing yourself to anything under the sun. That's why I wasn't necessarily tripping all that much over even George Floyd. Should he have died? No. Absolutely not. There is a process for what happens when you steal. When you steal, you're supposed to give 7 times back whatever you stole. Right? That's what you're supposed to do. But that's according to Torah. Either way, no one should be dying for stealing, especially if it's not in the law. If it's in the law, then, hey, I can't help you. But they decided to kill him. So in that regard, yes, I understand. But anytime you are doing something that you're not supposed to do not be surprised if it comes back to bite you. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I don't feel bad for anyone. People get what they deserve, good or bad. And even if you don't feel like they got what they deserved in this lifetime, it doesn't matter. The Most High is going to repay you regardless. That's why I don't care. Do what I'm supposed to do. Keep it pushing. I don't make excuses for anyone. I don't care if you look like me, if you are doing the same thing as me. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know you. Only the Most High knows you.
It is a youthful indiscretion. It is a youthful indiscretion that is a mistake that they should learn from, that is amplified impossibly large by the fact that it becomes an international incident because they're in China. Now, of all the things that go on here, the thing that interests me least is the shoplifting. It's bad. They shouldn't do it. They should learn from it. They should know better. They're representing their country, their school, all those things. They are in a place that is not politically free. That's why the president, who they rightfully thanked, had to go get them out. right? Because they're not in a normal place. They're in a place that's economically free but not politically free. Who sent them there? Right? Why is the NCAA, why are there schools in the NCAA that are in China in the first place? They want to expand the game. Why? Because they love basketball just to watch everyone play basketball?
What in the hell is this dude talking about? Do you see? Do you understand the acrobats he's going through in order to cape? This is not necessary. None of this is necessary. But he wants to look good in front of so-called black people. He doesn't truly care about them. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. This is all an act. And we're going to see because, hey, he showed his true face. He already looks upset. I know you guys saw the clips. He's already upset. Why? Because he knows. He knows deep down. He knows. So, we're going to go over this. Listen, man. These people, anytime, like Big Judah said it right about Jerry from NWA. Anytime you want to say the truth about what they're doing, that's when they start to scream louder than the music. They try to scream so you don't hear the fart.
Sorry, did you ask me, Molly?
Yeah, you, Max, please.
First of all, I'm Jewish, so I'd like to accept Deshaun Jackson's apology, but I need to know more. Part of the quote, they will extort America. Their plan, meaning the Jews, for world domination won't work if the Negroes knew who they were. This is not about uplifting black people primarily. This is about, if you think about it, Deshaun, why black people are in a bad position. Jews are being scapegoated. First of all, there's no truth in it. Jews do not have a plan for world domination. I have no plan for world domination, and there is no secret cabal with some plan for world domination.
Doesn't this sound familiar? Does it not sound familiar? Does it not sound like, well, where is white supremacy? I don't see it. Why don't you show it to me? Me? Oh, I don't have any plan for white supremacy, for world domination. These people are all the same. They're all the same. I don't care what type of caping they do. I don't care what they say. I don't trust a single one of them. Not one. I don't want one near me. I keep you 6 feet away because this is the true face. So this is not about uplifting black people primarily. This is about denigrating us Jews, and we're so oppressed, and you know, the big H, the hollow, and the CAUST. That did not happen. And I'll leave the link in the description of what I'm talking about. But you see how he just deflected this? Do you think Deshaun Jackson was saying that because of what Hitler said about them being the fakes? I'm pretty sure he's focusing on us being the reals. But Max Kellerman, he got so irate and offended because he knows it's true. So he's going to deflect.
I don't even know what blackmail or extort America means in this context. I don't think you do either, and I don't think anyone does. It's unintelligible. It doesn't make any sense. And it plays on the worst kind of anti-Semitic tropes and stereotypes through the years, especially scapegoating Jews for problems. So what it appears to me is that Deshaun Jackson is susceptible to low-quality information. And in the...
Oh, man. This person has some nerve. This is the same person who tells black women, oh, you could wear whatever you want, you could be whatever you're going to be, but his wife's in a long skirt with a head covering. Get out of here, bro. Person's a hypocrite.
Internet age, it's very dangerous to be that way. For those, especially people who disseminate these messages, are hoping that influencers, like maybe Deshaun Jackson, who are susceptible to low quality information, accept this information as true, this disinformation as true, and disseminate it and use their influence to get people to agree with it. So if Deshaun Jackson wants to educate people, then Deshaun, you should become educated. I've dealt with Deshaun Jackson, nice guy, I like him. But, and I'd like to accept his apology, not just as a Jewish person, but as a person of social conscience. But I have to.
Social conscience. In other words, Tikkun Olam. Meaning, my ideologies matter more than yours. Oh, man.
To know more, Deshaun. When you say you're tweeting this not to offend anyone, but to uplift everyone, why does it say they? Why is the quote about white Jews in particular who have a plan for world domination?
They don't have a plan. They've already done their plan. Your plan's on the way down. Your plan is getting deconstructed. So you're way late to the party, Mr. Kellerman. You're way late. You don't understand the plan because you've lived through the plan. You've benefited from the plan, whether you know it or not. Whether you want to accept it or not, that's what has occurred. And you're going to find out very soon that your forefathers have inherited lies.
What is that about? You couldn't uplift African Americans without singling out Jews falsely for having some kind of conspiracy to Jews in particular to keep black people down or uninformed in order that the Jews should dominate the world?
Oh, man. And yeah, I guess you could say that this was anti-Semitic. One, because their father is from Sem, meaning Semihaza. Two, if he's talking about anti-Shemitic, then he's right as well. Because Esau is from Shem, right?
I'm glad, Deshaun, that you apologized. And I would like to accept it. But brother, I gotta know more. I gotta know much more. What you've explained so far doesn't cut it.
You have some nerve. You have some nerve. People have to apologize to you. I can't look at this dude's face, man. That's just so cringy. We're gonna watch this. I wanted to cover this video a long time ago. This is what I'm talking about because I remember people used to say this. Oh, Max Kellerman is invited to the cookout. He likes us black people. See? He cares about his boss. People are ignorant, man. But let's watch this. I wouldn't invite her to the cookout. There would be no more food.
There's going to be drama, there's going to be games, there's going to be music, it's an event. Since the day I was alive, my cookouts have never been chill.
So the cookout to me is like where black people come to be blackity black black.
You said it right, blackity black black. Y'all some blackity black black foolish ass Negroes, man. And I'm blackity black.
Generations get together,
All of
and it's
them.
the one place you can like teach like the older generation as much as they teach you too.
True.
A cookout is a safe place to be around friends and family.
The cookout is the only place where you don't have to code switch.
It's immediate family, it's siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, family, friends, fake aunties, fake uncles.
It was my Haitian education school. That's where I learned about my culture, my music, how to cook, like the importance of family members.
Yeah, you can't
Listen,
fight.
all that is wonderful, right? But when you attach it to blackness, that's when you're going to lose me. Because you'll have all these different black nations, right, at your cookout, but you won't have the other actual Israelites there because they're not the same quote-unquote race. I'm not about that. Never been about that.
The cookout.
People
Like,
fight at the cookout.
You can't. You're not supposed to.
Let's see what celebs are coming to our cookouts.
Hell no. I can tell you that from the jump. The whole Kardashian clan.
She'd be too much of a spectacle. Like the grandmas wouldn't stop talking about her.
The cornrows, I'm not with it. You're not about to be at my family cookout embarrassing me.
Hell no, but then I'm gonna go like this. She can come to the parking lot to drop off the baby.
I'm doing this for her sake because my family is very intense. My family will just like talk crap and like laugh and like joke, and for some people it's very intense.
And you know they're not bringing nothing to help out, and you're not taking no plates home with you.
You're not
Like,
taking none of my
none of
plates.
I'm gonna have to go with a no for Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake. You on the outside, bruh.
There would be peas in his potato salad.
I'll do like,
No,
can I do this one?
right.
Post cornrows, pre this last album, Justin was cool, you know.
Let me tell you why you can't come to the cookout. In my opinion.
Because I know exactly what you're about to
You know
say.
what I'm about to say.
No, I take it back. No.
No?
After that Janet situation,
See, that's what they base you being acceptable to the black community on, based on cultural situations. This is stupid. Oh my goodness, this is so stupid and it's cringy. So stupid. Are people seeing this yet? I talk about this ad nauseum on my channel, because this is something that I'm really trying to get people to see my perspective on. It could be completely wrong. This is my perspective. Everything I say on this channel is my perspective and my opinion. That being said, I'm trying to show my perspective. This is stupid.
not friends.
You right here, the Janet situation.
Yeah.
You can't come to the cookout if you're not protecting black women.
You can't.
You can't come to the cookout if you're not protecting black women. Listen, I don't protect black women. I protect righteous women who happen to be people of color. I don't give a damn about everyone else. In fact, honestly, I really only care truly about the women in my family or my wife. That's the only women I really care about. Everyone else, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have no reason to. I have no reason to.
You did, right? You knew what you did. You knew you was a part of it.
Yeah.
Not my cookout.
Why would you even ask me that? Why is that even an option?
Rachel went around masquerading as a black woman. You sued the university for reverse racism. We don't do that. You're out.
But be yourself at the end of the day. We can't say, today I want to be black. Today, I don't want to be black. We can't do that.
Black people discriminating against white people doesn't prevent white people from housing opportunities, job opportunities, living, literally being alive.
They all know who she is, and you don't want no Haitian on their bad side.
I don't believe in encouraging bad behavior.
Yeah.
It's a no, but I'll make her a plate. Hell no.
Hell no.
That's it. That's all I got to say.
Nope.
Omarosa, at one point, was very pro-black woman. Her working for Trump mitigated everything that she ever worked toward regarding black women. It took it all away.
I hope you guys get the point. This is all opinion. All this black stuff about race, this is all opinion based on cultural things. Does this have anything to do with the Israelites? Does marching with guns have anything to do with the Israelites? Separate what is Babylonian from what is really a part of us, of our culture. This has nothing to do with our culture. Nothing. All this is pieces of our dying culture of having celebrations and cookouts, because we get all that from the new month celebrations. We celebrated in great ways like that. You can tell because Negroes, they get up to celebrate every goddamn Sunday. There's a cookout every Sunday. Because that's just what they do. Right? It's in our blood, it's in our DNA, whatever that means. But that being said, it needs to be channeled into something that's righteous. If you have rage, you want to fight, pray to the Most High. Pray to the Most High that he allows you to fight on that day of judgment. If you want to fight so bad. But don't do anything unless he's ordained it. That's my first and last warning to you guys. If you guys don't want to listen, after all the precepts I had said in the last video, a bunch of precepts I didn't say, that's on you. And you're going to answer for that because I've been a witness. So, wrapping this up, don't pay attention to these people. These Tikkun Olam face rats. In this case, he didn't have a small hat. But that's what these people are about. Both of them want you to stay in Babylon. If Max really cared about so-called black people, then he wouldn't have went off in that way. Did not mention the concept of so-called Negroes being the actual Israelites. Did not mention it, did not touch it. Just took it as full offense to him. It had nothing to do with him. He made it all about him. And acted like Deshaun Jackson personally apologized to Max. I don't know if he did. I doubt he did, though. Just made it all about him. Whatever, man. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Shalom.